This is the video review for Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Class Vortex. And Vortex is my second favorite of all the Combaticons. Like I said in my Onslaught review, I'm reviewing them from least favorite to most favorite. So this is my second favorite of all of them, with Swindle being my most favorite. And his color scheme isn't doing him any favors. It doesn't look awful, and it looks pretty interesting, but it is a very strange color scheme. Doesn't do him any favors, but he is a nice looking figure. I like his robot mode a lot. However, he has this battle skirt here, and it doesn't really impede his articulation because you move it out of the way. But it doesn't look that great, at least not in this color scheme. Because if you move it up, it moves all of it up. If it only moved half up, it will look a bit better. But it's also kind of annoying. So I have found an alternate transformation for his legs that alleviates the battle skirt here, that makes it not in the way. And what that is you fold this up, turn the legs around, bring this down, then push the head down, then rotate the legs around. And because this kind of screws up with his heel, because it makes it so his instep isn't flat, I actually fold his heel out like this. Now, in his straight up and down standing pose, the heel bits can kind of get in the way, but any other pose, it doesn't get in the way. And I think this actually looks really nice. It reveals some nice detailing on his legs here. I like how this thing looks from the back, and it doesn't get in the way of his articulation very much. I mean, you still have to move it out of the way to move the legs back. But I just think this is a much more functional way to transform him, because it's not as annoying. You still get some nice balance out of him, and it has some flaws, like you see the inside of the leg here. But for the most part, I think it is a superior leg transformation. And it's how I usually display mine. And I just, like this, I think it just works so much better. I can see arguments from the other side. If you like it the other way, that's fine. But if you're not quite happy with the battle skirt, this is a nice alternative to it. Now, as far as articulation goes, his legs go forward, back, in, out, rotate above the knee, bend at the knee. Actually in two places, because you also get this, but moving that is a bit harder than moving this, so I typically just move that. And then the arms go forward, back, in, out, rotate above the elbow, and then you get not quite 90 degrees at the elbow. Then the head goes up, down, and a little bit left and right. More left and right if you lift the head up. And it's actually a really nice little head sculpt. Yeah, the camera's not going to focus more than that. So, about the only other thing to talk about with him in this mode is this thing right here. And this can get in the way a little bit, but I think it looks pretty impressive as like a stabbing weapon, sort of like I don't know, like the Assassin's Blades from Assassin's Creed, except on the top of the arm. I think it looks nice as that, and if you just keep it like this, it stays out of the way pretty well, so it's not that big of a deal for me. Now, transform this guy is a bit more interesting than some of the other figures. What you'll do is you will rotate the legs back around like this, bring them back like this so they'll be out of the way, pop the head up like this, and make sure he's looking up when you do that, and then bring this around like this. Then you'll rotate the bicep around, untab the shoulder from in there, and then bring it around like this. And I realize my camera may not be picking up the red on him as well as it should. If it doesn't end up looking quite right, I apologize. Do the same to the other side while making sure this stays out of the way. And then plug it all together. Rotate this around. And then what you will do is, I like to make sure the battle skirt's pulled down like this so it stays out of the way. You'll start bending the legs. And when you bend this leg, you'll pull this gun out. And then there are little tabs right here. They'll tab onto the inside of the leg. So you will tab those together like this, and then tab the two halves together. You want to kind of squeeze everything together, make sure it fits right. And you'll push the skirt together, then you'll separate out the blades. And that, oops, I didn't get that together quite right. And getting the legs to properly wrap around the body here can be kind of annoying. Basically, what we need to understand is that this ratcheted knee joint needs to be, from the straight position, bent 2 notches. And there you go. It's quite a nice helicopter mode. The color scheme, I'm not too big of a fan of. It works, but it's still strange, but it is a nice looking helicopter mode. I quite like it. It spins freely, and yeah. If you want to store the swords on it, they store in like this and look ridiculous. Now, to transform them into a hand, what you do is, I fold these up so they stay out of the way. Split the legs, and this is so you can pull this hand out and push this in. And then what you will do is you will untab the legs from the torso here like this. And then there are two little slots here, and tabs here and here. You'll bring those up and together. Tab these together again. And then rotate to the side and pull this out. And this is his arm mode. And you get an elbow, bicep swivel, and a shoulder joint, and in-out. And it doesn't look perfect, but I think it actually looks pretty good. And if you want the hand to be facing the other side, what you do is you bend this around, so that's, and then rotate the arm like this, and this is how you get the right arm as opposed to the left arm. Now I typically leave it on the right arm just because. Anyway, that's Vortex. He's a pretty nice figure. I like him quite a bit. His combiner mode isn't the greatest. Like, I like my fan mode for Blastoff quite a bit more. But I do quite like him. He is easily recommendable on his own. Yeah, I do recommend him. I review Transformers, Power Rangers, just lots of stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.